Got another new helicopter to show here. This is the WLToys V950. This is the big brother of the V977. This is the V977, and I'm actually going to be flying this with the transmitter from the V977. I bought it bind and fly, and more on that in a minute. It's a very much bigger brother though. It's a lot bigger. It's more like a 200 size helicopter. Now, the thing is, this is the bind and fly version, and this is what you get with the bind and fly version. A helicopter, and that's it, period. No battery, no spares, not even a piece of paper. All you get is the helicopter, which I thought was a little bit much, especially since on the Banggood listing, if you look at the Banggood listing for the bind and fly version, there are about 7 pictures that clearly show the helicopter with a battery in it. Now, admittedly, 2 screens down, there's 1 line of text that says does not come with a battery. But to me, to put 7 pictures at the top that show it with a battery and then 1 little line of text down the bottom that says does not come with a battery, that's a bit iffy business practices to me, and I'm not very happy with Banggood for that. And of course, also every other WLToys helicopter that's ever been sold has always come with a battery, to my knowledge. This is the first time I've ever had one that came without a battery. And it's particularly annoying because it's a very difficult battery to find. What it's supposed to have is a 1500 3-cell, and it has to fit into this little cage in there. Well, I've got 1500 3-cells, but they won't fit in there. The only battery I've got that will fit in there is this, which is an old Thunderpower 2100. It's a bit old, and it's definitely bigger than it should be, but it will fit in that slot. Just. Famous last words, but it will. I've had it in before. In fact, this is not actually a maiden. I flew this that's as far as it will go because there's a back to the thing. I flew this at the indoors at the community centre. So the battery's too heavy, but this is the only battery I've got that'll fly it for now. I've tried to order other batteries, but they'll take a while to come. I'm flying it with a transmitter from the V977, which is basically exactly the transmitter that comes with it. Unlike most WLToys helicopters, it doesn't just automatically bind when you turn it on, which is probably just as well for a big helicopter like this, to be on the safe side. There's a small switch on the front left. I don't particularly want to take the canopy off now, but there's a small switch on the front left of the board that you have to press down, and you have to connect the battery to the helicopter, press down on the small just a little button on the front left, the front of the left side of the board, and that puts the helicopter into bind mode. Then you can turn the transmitter on and bind it. Now, it should already be bound. Now, I shouldn't need to do that because I already bound it. I was already flying it with this transmitter. Yep. See, we're bound. We're bound, whoops. We're bound because I was already bound to this. Apparently I do not have throttle cut on, though. Now I do. It's your throttle cut switch, your idle up switch, and 3D, 6D, dual rates. We'll stay in low rates for now, I think. I'm not going to do a lot with it this morning, but I just thought I'd bring it out and show it. It's it's a nice helicopter in many ways. I've ordered some spares for it as well now. If I'd realised that the bind and fly, I didn't need another transmitter, but if I'd realised the bind and fly version came with no battery and no spares, I would have just ordered the ready to fly version. And I would advise anyone to do that. Don't order the bind and fly version. What's the point? I mean, you get another transmitter, but I mean, it's worth the difference. It's worth the difference in price between the bind and fly and the ready to fly, just to get the battery and the spares. And I think you might even get more than 1 battery with the ready to fly. I'm not sure, but I think even for the 1 battery and spares, with shipping and things, it's better just to get the ready to fly. Then at least you've got spares and a battery, and so you've got an extra transmitter. Certainly no harm in having an extra transmitter. I just ordered the bind and fly because I didn't need the extra transmitter. Anyway, we'll try and give it, there's no wind, it's very misty, but I'm not going to fly this far enough away. I've got a fixed wing plane here as well, but I thought I might fly that first, but given how misty it is, I'm waiting until the mist clears before I even think about flying a fixed wing plane, because you could lose that in this mist pretty quickly. Sun's already up and trying to fight its way through the mist. Okay, so throttle hold off. Whoa. That was just because I didn't have the, didn't have the blades out. There you go. Pop him up into the air. Might be a hair of wind because he does seem to be drifting a little bit. I don't know whether it's just that or just, I don't know whether it's because there's a hair of wind or he's just out of trim, but he definitely seems to have a tendency to drift to my left there. I think there's a hair of wind because I don't remember him drifting much indoors. I was flying him indoors. And I don't remember him drifting indoors. I don't know quite what to expect to this guy, we'll see. What is that weird noise? Yeah, it is the helicopter making that weird noise. Don't like it, I don't know what it is. What on earth is that weird noise? Gotta let this guy spin down. He's a fairly powerful sort of helicopter, and we do have him in. I didn't put my strap on. I nearly went back to the car and got it, but then I didn't. I don't know what's making that weird noise. It almost sounded as if, I don't know. It's a bit confusing. It almost looks as if it's got a torque tube driven tail, but it doesn't. It's just a brushed motor in the tail. But it's just driving the brush. It's a brush motor, but it's driving the. It's a fixed pitch tail, but it's driving it through a gear. Just put him up one more time quickly. I'm not really going to do much with him today. Oh, help if I take throttle cut off. Yeah, this battery's too heavy for him apart from the else. We'll wait until we get the right battery apart from the else, because he's carrying too much weight and that probably doesn't help. And we don't want to, mind you, it's so cold this morning, I don't think we're going to burn up his motors. I would think not. I doubt we're going to burn up his motors this morning because it's cold. It's not much of it. It's only about 5 or 6 degrees. I wouldn't want to be doing this on a hot day maybe though, because he's carrying too much weight with this battery. Anyway, there you go. An initial look. I wouldn't call that much of a review because I've got to do more with him. I'll wait till the proper batteries come for him, but sadly that'll probably be after the end of the outdoor flying season. I can fly this guy indoors. I won't want to get too fancy with him indoors. He's a bit big, but I like a transmitter that talks. I put throttle cut on them, but this one doesn't talk. Wondering about I mainly fly a DX9. I was wondering about getting an open TX transmitter. Maybe an FR Sky, or maybe I was looking at the Jumper T16 actually, considering it. And that you could fly this guy with that. For the moment, he's a KN protocol, this guy. Same protocol as the V977, V988, V930. And I'm flying him with the transmitter that I got with my V977. But you just have to hold that bind button down. So anyway, there you go, an initial look at this. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what this cost me bind and fly. Somewhere around 150 Canadian, I think. Not super cheap. Cheaper than a lot of the blade stuff, but anyway, and you know, how well he's going to handle it. But I'm not going to push him till I get the right batteries. At least I'm not going to push him that much then. I'm not a very fancy helicopter flyer. But, you know, he looks a nice helicopter. I'm just disappointed that I've got to wait for batteries and spares and things. And as I say, don't forget that you've got to push that button if you do want to bind him to a V977 transmitter. You've got to have the canopy off and push that button on the front of the left side of the board to put the helicopter into bind mode. Otherwise, all seems to be basically working okay, and we'll get him flying a little bit more, hopefully, when we get the right batteries for him.